So I'm putting this video together, and the purpose is so that I can illustrate to you and to my wife, everybody else out there that doesn't know the difference between DJI cinematography type drones and FPV. FPV, first person view. So we're talking acrobatic drones, crazy flying, awesome video compared to smooth and silky cinematography of just aerial shots of they're going to capture amazing things, and the picture quality is excellent on both of them, but one is really fast and crazy and just takes you places where you cannot imagine at speeds that you cannot imagine. Whereas the other one is just a nice, beautiful aerial view. Somebody described it, whereas cinematography drones, it's so smooth and silky and slow that you may not even think or realize that it's a drone. And FPV is the exact opposite. It is so rapid and crazy fast and just here, there, and everywhere, the twists and turns and all the maneuvers that they make. It's like absolutely, totally obvious that it's a drone. So complete opposite spectrum, ends of the spectrum, but just amazing footage and something that you just marvel at seeing, both of them. So my footage, and I'm gonna be mixing it up here. So I'm gonna go, it's gonna be real obvious. I don't even need to tell you, but you're gonna know my footage compared to the FPV footage that I pulled off of YouTube. This is from Flow State. It's a documentary on FPV flying, and you can search it on YouTube and watch the entire thing. It's like an hour-long documentary. I just took some clips so that I can show the difference between FPV and cinematography, DJI drones, GPS coordinate drones. Big difference in the drones, in the flying, in the footage, just night and day. But I'm excited about both of them. Obviously, I have my DJI drone. That's the footage that we're seeing here for the most part in my video. But the clips, and I'll tell you in the video that I'm getting into the first-person view drone flying. I'm building my own soon. I'm already practicing on a simulator, which if you're smart and you're going to get into FPV flying, please do yourself a favor and start on a simulator. Otherwise, you're going to crash a zillion times and get frustrated, pull your hair out, not to mention what it's going to cost you, because every time you crash, we're talking about replacing expensive parts and the build and the frustration, and my goodness, just save yourself a lot of heartache and headache and spend about 100 hours on a simulator. That's what I'm going to do. So far, I'm at like 7. So I've got like 93 hours to go before I even attempt to launch my first-person view drone, which I haven't gotten yet. I've got a order in. It should be delivered soon. And I'm going to very slowly and meticulously start building. I anticipate it's going to take me a couple of months. So in a couple of months from now, I'm going to document my first flight, and it's going to be a sight to behold. Y'all are going to laugh at me because I'm sure I'll crash even with 100 hours of simulation time. Enjoy this video. Good examples of both types of flying. All right, folks. Hey, leave me a comment. If you're not a member of the Mursegeorge channel, what are you waiting for? Subscribe. We do cool stuff here like this, and we talk about important things that affect us all. So come on aboard. Bye. Just went through my first battery on my DJI Air 3. This thing is miraculous. This thing is just like the most amazing thing. I love it. It's the coolest toy I've ever owned. So fun. Um, so I'm going to show you some footage I just took of this abandoned concrete plant. And this area, I love it, man. I've been coming here for years. There was nothing developed here. And I had a dirt bike that I would ride up that big hill over there. And this place is just so cool. I used to ride over there by that concrete plant too, but very dangerous. The footage is just spectacular. I'm so amazed with the quality of the footage, both photographs and video. Um, I'm also getting into FPV. Those of you that don't know, FPV is a first person view. It's drones, but very different than these drones. These drones are so advanced and they almost fly themselves. Anybody, I mean, I don't even have a lot of skill and I fly this like a dream. But the other drones do not have GPS and all the bells and whistles. And this thing's got safeties and sensors up the wazoo. It's hard to crash one of these. You can go towards a building or a tree or something and it'll start alarming. And this thing will like drive around it rather than crash into it. But the FPVs, if you've ever seen those videos where the camera is just like soaring through buildings and around trees and down cliffs and over waterfalls. And
who hasn't looked up at the sky and thought, man, I wish I could be Superman and just...
It is all manual. When we fly these things, every movement that you see is input or not input from the pilot.
Apart from flying a wingsuit, FPV is as close as real flying as it can get.
They even go into buildings and stuff. Just really fast video that looks like just something out of this world. It's just amazing to watch. But I'm getting into that, but my goodness, very different than this. It takes so much skill to pilot a drone like that. So I've got a long, long way to go. I just got into drones recently, really. This is my first real one. And I love, I mean, like if you're a cinematographer, if you're into photography or videography, this, oh my God, it's like one of the most amazing tools in the world. But if you're into aerial acrobatics and capturing that on video, man, FPV.
So flying FPV, you're always looking for like this dope spot to fly. If you've ever skated, most people are like, oh, they're looking at stair sets and handrails rather than, you know, maybe an architecture of a building, where with FPV, we look at these things so differently now because you can fly in three-dimensional space.
With FPV technology, it's just up to your skills, how crazy and good the shot gets.
But I just want to show everybody what FPV footage looks like. And it is just miraculous. So amazing. I'm going to cut some into a video, show everybody. And this is a document. This will be a documentation of my journey, both cinematography. So this is my cinematography drone. But I also want to document my progress with FPV. So not only am I going to learn how to do those first person, and the reason why they call it FPV is first person view. So you actually wear goggles on those things and you fly them with goggles on and you're looking through. It's like you're in the cockpit. The little drone's like this big and it weighs like a pound or a pound and a half. Very light, very little. But with the electronics and you've got the goggles strapped to your face, it looks like you're in the cockpit.
The first time I saw FPV, I thought to myself, I'm never playing another video game again. Your environments are mountains, rivers, lakes, marshes, beaches, whatever you want your environment to be.
It is the closest thing that you can get to flying a fighter jet without actually flying a fighter jet. You don't strap into the jet, you strap the jet onto you. When you put on the goggles, you are completely immersed and you don't feel like you're sitting there flying a drone. You feel like you're actually flying. The adrenaline that goes through your veins is extremely similar to actually flying a fighter jet. This is something that you could only do with these highly specialized quadcopters.
And you land and you take the goggles off and there you are in the park and you're like, what? It feels like my life and $1 million is on the line.
You've got to have some dialed in precision skills, which I do not, but I'm learning. The correct way to learn is on a flight simulator. So I've begun doing that and I've got a lot of hours to put in before I actually launch one of those drones. And not only am I learning to fly, but I'm also going to be building my first FPV drone. So I figure if you know me, I'm a tinkerer and I like to tinker and I like to build stuff and I like to fix stuff. So this is right up my alley. And if anybody out there is kind of the same way, I do, if it intrigues you at all, I do recommend this because it's so cool. There's so many tutorials and instruction available. So, I mean, you just buy the parts and put it together at your convenience, at your own pace. So I'm doing it. I'm going to start tinkering on it when the parts start coming in the mail. As I do the simulator and stuff, a couple hours of simulator each day and a little tinkering on the tools. So by the time I get 100 hours of simulator time, I should have my drone built up and ready for a little flight. So I'm just going to toot around an area like this and stuff. A little bit different than this. This has such range and the electronics, if I lose sight of this one, which you're not supposed to, in the United States, you're supposed to keep a line of sight with your drone at all time, but it happens. And if I lose sight with this, I can push a button and the GPS and the onboard computers will just bring it right back here. Now, the FPV drones, not exactly the same thing there. So you do really, really have to keep line of sight with those.
The adrenaline is always there, no matter how long you've been flying.
You feel the power, you feel the speed.
The sensation that you get, or the adrenaline rush directly comes from speed.
Even now, I get shaky hands, I get almost dizzy about it.
So much to learn, so much to do, so exciting, so fun. I can't wait to share it all with you. And maybe you'll want to be a part of it. Maybe you'll want to tinker with me. So San Antonio, drone pilots, reach out. I'm Mursegeorge. I need some friends that are in this so you can teach me something. All right, folks, it's time to slap a new battery in my Air 3 and let's go.